Hi guys, this is Erica from Gokce Capital. Now before I begin, be sure to click subscribe and turn on the notification bell. One afternoon, a forester walked into Marnie's restaurant and offered her an unexpected deal. What was it? We'll find out at the end of this video. But first, if you own an undeveloped parcel of land, you may want to consider enrolling in a carbon credit program. This way, you can make money by planting trees or using sustainable agricultural practices. If this piques your interest, keep watching to learn more. Number 1. What are carbon credits? A carbon credit is a tradable instrument that represents 1 ton of carbon dioxide removed from the atmosphere. Carbon credits can be purchased by an individual or company to make up for carbon dioxide emissions that come from industrial production, delivery vehicles, or travel. Number 2. How are carbon credits created? Carbon credits are created by you as a landowner through regenerative agricultural or forestry practices. These include activities like planting trees or using no-till farming to reduce, avoid, capture, or destroy emissions. Number 3. What are the different types of carbon credits? Carbon credits take 2 primary forms. The first is a voluntary emissions reduction, which is a carbon offset exchanged in the voluntary market. The second is a certified emissions reduction, which is an emissions unit created through a regulatory framework, in other words, a mandatory cap-and-trade program. Number 4. Does the U.S. have a carbon market? The U.S. currently does not have a mandatory cap-and-trade market for greenhouse gases. Having said this, California does. In addition, there are a number of voluntary markets that exist, and it is in these markets where many credits are traded. Number 5. How do I trade carbon credits? Well, first, you will need to hire a professional forester or carbon credit consulting company to do a carbon inventory of your land and create a management plan detailing the practices you will use to reduce or store emissions. You will then need to get your land or project verified and registered on one of several carbon registries. The most widely used and respected include the American Carbon Registry, Climate Action Reserve, and the Verified Carbon Standard. As part of this process, you will need to sign an agreement that locks you into the practices that are going to reduce or store carbon for a number of years. Once your project is verified and registered, you will then have credits that you can sell to either a middleman, through an exchange, or directly to an end buyer. And number 6, can I participate as a small landowner or farmer? As you may imagine, there may be a bit of a learning curve if you wish to make money selling carbon credits. This, along with the costs associated with registration and verification, have traditionally left small landowners out of the market. But this is changing. There are a number of startups that are looking to democratize carbon credits. A few of these include True Tierra for farmers, the Natural Capital Exchange for forest owners, and the Family Forest Carbon Program for forest owners in Pennsylvania and West Virginia. Which brings us back to Marnie Oakes. Marnie's husband had inherited 1,000 acres of timberland in western Pennsylvania. For many years, his family had harvested and milled wood from their land, but 2 decades ago, they closed their lumber mill, leaving the land largely unmanaged. Marnie and her husband had not thought much about the property until Zach Parisa walked into her restaurant. Zach is the founder of Sylvia Terra, one of several organizations that plan to bring carbon credits to every landowner everywhere. Their goal is to put the carbon market on equal footing with the timber industry. Thus, instead of cutting trees for cash, small owners across the country can make money by maintaining their forest land. Their exchange, the Natural Capital Exchange, enrolls properties of all sizes. Backed by a forest base map designed by Microsoft, Sylvia Terra allows participants to enroll in flexible, year-to-year contracts without charging measurement and monitoring fees. Compared to the traditional 10 to 100 year carbon credit contract, The 1-year time frame makes it harder for dodgy sellers to overstate the carbon their forest land will offset. Furthermore, it helps to expand access to the carbon credit market for smaller property owners like Marnie. Yet, for Marnie, the real benefit of the program is not financial. The beautiful forests of western Pennsylvania where Marnie lives are being stripped by property owners desperate for cash. "They won't come back in my lifetime," Marnie said, "and they probably won't come back in my daughter's lifetime. So if you can offset that, amen." And if you too would like to make some money while preserving your forest or farmland, perhaps consider the carbon credit market. And if you have already done so, tell us your story in the comments. Did you like this video? You're going to love our Gokce Land Due Diligence program. We'll make you a land due diligence expert in just 7 days. Check it out at gokcecapital.com/glad. And while you're at our website, don't forget to explore our $1 down listings at gokcecapital.com/listings. Finally, don't hesitate to reach out. You can email, call, or text, and we will respond as soon as possible. So thank you for listening, and more to come.